All right, on Monday, we did a double auction experiment that unfortunately I wasn't able to capture the video for. Such is life. Division of labor is real, and I have specialized my labor not in figuring out videos. So fingers crossed this recording is still working. Otherwise, I am going to give up and go to the store and buy some beers, and that's how I'm going to spend the rest of my day. So if you see more videos coming up after this, it means things are working. So, before I figured out how to do a double auction online with tools that someone else built, thankfully, I used to do what's called a pit trading experiment. And in that situation, everyone would get a little card that said, you're a buyer or you're a seller, and your first unit is worth this much, your second is this much, and so on and so forth. If you're a seller, here are your costs. If you sell only one unit, you face this cost. If you sell a second unit, that second unit will cost you this much on the margin. And then I had students go out and try to maximize their profits by buying low or selling high. Inevitably, I would see two students who sat next to each other who did something really clever. So they might have a situation like this where, say, the marginal benefit of the first unit for student A is 100, and for the second unit, the marginal benefit is maybe 40. And for their friend, the seller, they had a low marginal cost of $30 for their first unit and $90 for their second unit. And they figured, okay, well, we could just sort of go at this and figure out what happens, but let's plan ahead. I know that I can give you a good trade next round if you give me a good trade this round. If we take turns, we're going to be able to exchange both of these units instead of just one. So these students are falling into a trap and found a really sophisticated way to do so, which is they're thinking we want to buy and sell more. Now the economic question is it worth it? And in this case, the answer is no. That second unit costs $50 more than it's worth. It's too much of a good thing. You don't want to do it. Now here's what they did. They said, I will agree to an exchange of my expensive unit for your high benefit unit if you buy the other one. Sorry, I'm dyslexing here. It's easy to get these flip-flopped, but basically trying to match up the high benefit unit with the high cost unit and the low cost unit with the low benefit unit. So they basically matched these up, and the result was they had two prices, 95 and 35, instead of just one price of maybe 65. So given these two exchanges, they are able to find a clever way to sell more, to get a bigger overall market. But the impact is that with this trade, there's $10 benefit. With this trade, there's $10 benefit. They're getting $20 benefit when they could have gotten instead, what is this, $70 benefit. So given that, they lost $50, which was dead weight loss. And importantly, more is good. It means more benefit, but it also means more cost. So you can absolutely have too much of a good thing. We'll talk about subsidies in the near future, but that's a situation where you're basically paying people to do more of something than they would otherwise. That's the classic scenario for getting dead weight loss on the right-hand side of our supply and demand curve. So, it's important, again, to think about the supply and demand curve as a series of bars because it helps to make sense of that situation. The dead weight loss from subsidies is really easy to misinterpret when you're thinking about it in terms of additional consumer surplus and additional producer surplus. It's a lot easier to just recognize here's our additional benefit and here is our additional cost, and the net effect is the dead weight loss. All right, I'm going to close it there and upload these videos, and I will see you in the future.